660 days since my daughter, Charlee King, was killed by Abdirashid Noor. Charlee lost her life at only 9 years old because Mr. Noor had road rage. Now now Mr. Noor will spend a minuscule amount of time in prison while myself and my family have a life sentence. I think that it's important for everyone in this room to know what kind of person Mr. Noor stole from the world. When Charlee came into my life, my world was forever changed. She showed me a love that I had never seen before. She turned me into a much kinder, gentler person, and I will forever be grateful to her. Charlee grounded me. She taught me so much for such a little person. Often when I would get upset and start spiraling about insignificant things like spilled milk, Charlee would say, "Mom, is it that big of a deal? We can just pick it up. There's nothing to get upset about." And in an instant, she would center me back to earth, back to reality, back to a world in which everything was right because my little girl said it so. Charlee just exuded happy, positive energy from her core. She was guaranteed to have a smile on her face day in and day out. That was something all of her teachers would share with me during her yearly school conferences, how they could always count on her for a smile and a nice warm hug. On top of being this happy, bubbly girl, Charlee was very kind and thoughtful. Charlee always helped those in need. Once when she was in 2nd grade, Charlee had made friends with a kindergartner on her bus. She walked him to class on his first day of school because he didn't know where to go. And from then on, she walked him to his class every morning. That little boy, who was now in 2nd grade himself, came to Charlee's services with his parents to tell me how sweet she was, how lucky they were to know her, and the impact she made in their lives. One of her final acts of kindness happened just the day before she was killed. Charlee was supposed to spend her first 2 weeks of summer at Camp Evergreen in Fayetteville. She had only made it to the first 2 days. That Tuesday night, Charlee was telling me about her day at camp. Once a week, each camp group would take turns going to the camp store, and that day was her group's turn. I had given Charlee $10 for the camp store, and she was telling me what she had bought that day: a Camp Evergreen water bottle and 2 ice creams. I, of course, asked her why she bought 2 ice creams, and she told me, "I bought 2 in case someone in my group didn't have any money for the store, Mom. And I'm glad that I did because my friend didn't bring any money, so I gave her my 2nd ice cream." Her thoughtfulness never ceased to amaze me. Charlee was always thinking about others and making the world a kinder place. We had chatted some more about her fun day at camp and how excited she was for the summer as I packed her lunch and her new water bottle for camp the next day. I later pulled the remaining green plastic pieces of what was left of her water bottle from my car, along with her blood-stained book bag that was packed with her lunch, and her Crocs that were covered in her feces. She never even got to use that water bottle. I will never forget the day that Charlee died. It plays in my head daily. It was such a normal morning. We were on our way to work. We had made this drive hundreds of times. We were almost there when Mr. Noor decided that he was the most important person on the road that morning and killed my daughter. After the impact, I wasn't even thinking about who was in the other car or what had just happened. I could only think of Charlee. I remember asking Charlee, "Are you okay?" There was no answer. Louder, "Charlee?" Still no answer. I started screaming her name, ripping off my seatbelt to turn around and look at her. Her head was down. Her wavy blonde hair was covering her face. I didn't know what I was seeing at the time. I didn't know that I was looking at my daughter's lifeless body. At night when I close my eyes, this is what I see. And those nights, I'm lucky if that's what I see. The worst nights are when I see her lying in the hospital bed with a neck brace on and blood encrusted in her nose and her blonde hair turned pink from blood. The hospital staff wouldn't even let me hold her in my arms one last time because all the bones in her chest were crushed. Do I think Mr. Noor woke up that morning and decided to kill Charlee? No. Do I believe him killing Charlee was an accident? Also no. Mr. Noor didn't accidentally slide down an icy road into my car. He drove over 70 miles per hour in the wrong lane, attempting to illegally pass another car and then lie about it. I believe Mr. Noor made a lot of choices that morning, and he knew those choices were wrong, and disregarded the fact that these choices would endanger the lives of others. And it is because of those choices that my daughter is dead, and my whole world has been forever changed. Mr. Noor didn't care about his passenger's life, or the life of the woman in the other car, and he certainly didn't care about Charlee's life or mine. Mr. Noor didn't pay the ultimate price for his actions, but my little girl did. My daughter lost her life because Mr. Noor was hostile. Mr. Noor will be set free in no time, a little slap on the wrist for killing a child. While Charlee should be in her second year of middle school with her classmates, instead her ashes rest on our mantle. Charlee will never have her first kiss. She will never learn to drive. She will never graduate from high school, go to college, have a career, or start her own family. Charlee will remain 9 years old forever, while the rest of the world goes on. Every day since Charlee died, I wake up and I wish I was dead. Because the person I love most is no longer here, and it's simply not fair. The last year of Charlee's life was a busy and difficult one. At the beginning of that June, she had came to me and told me that she missed me and wanted to spend some alone time with me. And I had to explain to her that I was trying to do good in school so that I could better provide for her. I told her that my last day of school and her last day of school coincided on June 22nd, and we had the whole summer to do fun stuff. She circled that day in her calendar and wrote, "Me and Mom time." 6 days later, she was killed. Most days after Charlee's death, I didn't want to do anything. On the days I would try to cope, I couldn't because the car accident had shattered my wrist. And when going through something difficult, I'd like to cook, bake, write, or craft, but was unable to due to my dominant hand being useless. So for the first 2 months after Charlee's death, all I did was cry and sleep. I slept so much because that was the only time I got to see Charlee in my dreams. If I was guaranteed to have a good dream with Charlee, and every time I slept, I would sleep the rest of my life away. Sometimes I'm lucky and I have good dreams, but I often have nightmares instead. I once dreamt that Charlee had survived the crash, but her body was completely mangled, and she was screaming and crying in pain for her mom to help, but I couldn't help her. I had another dream. She was dying in the backseat of my car, and I was driving around begging for someone to help us, but no one did. I recently had a dream that someone told me they had a cure to bring Charlee back to life. And I went to her grave, and I dug up her dead, decomposing body. I didn't even care that I was looking at my daughter's rotting body. I just wanted her to be alive again. But these nightmares haunt me even when I'm awake. I'm sure I will have these dreams if for the rest of my life. Soon it will be 2 years since Charlee died, and almost 2 years of Mr. Noor going unpunished. I remember when the crash first happened, before I had learned any of the details, I felt sorry for him, Mr. Noor. Then I learned how he had lied, how we would have never known the truth if it wasn't for the woman in the other car. I learned the choices he made out of anger and recklessness. It is still hard for me to believe that my daughter is dead because he was angry on the road. I've witnessed him try to do anything except take accountability for killing my daughter. I've witnessed him try to do anything except take accountability for killing my daughter. I no longer feel sorry for him. He has no remorse for killing a child. Mr. Noor is a killer. He killed my daughter, Charlee King. If he had shown even an ounce of guilt for what he did, I think I would be able to forgive him. Now I don't think I will ever be able to forgive him. Mr. Noor is a selfish, lying coward. He has robbed me of my peace. I have PTSD because of him. I can no longer get in the car without thinking somebody is going to drive into me. I'm constantly gasping and defensively reacting to everybody else on the road. He's robbed my daughter of her life. He's robbed me of my daughter, my only child. And he took my motherhood away from me. What gives him the right to do that? I hope he thinks of how he killed Charlee, an innocent child, every day for the rest of his life.
Nothing further from the table, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ms. Vincent, on behalf of your client.